Detroit Lions fans, Detroit Den 313 back with another one. Steve and Will here, ready to talk Detroit Lions football per usual. But before we do, hit that subscribe button. Think about becoming a member if you want to win some free stuff. Steve, what's on the docket, man? What you feeling?
Man, we got a lot of news today. A lot of news. I don't think any of it is over sexy, but maybe if you put it all together, it might be a little sexy because Detroit Lions late last night signed Jamie Robinson to the active roster, skipped the practice squad right to the active roster. Will, that tells me maybe I'm wrong. Is he going to see some reps on Monday night? Is he a guy that's going to be getting into the mix, into some corner, nickelback, some safety stuff? What are you thinking?
Special teams. That's what I'm thinking. Special teams in depth piece, just in case Harper's not working out, or it'll be just making sure that we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's. But Coach Campbell did say today at the podium that Jamie Robinson is somebody that Brad Holmes has been looking at for a long time. Said he was looking at him when he came out of the draft, and then since then he's been a topic of conversation here and there. He's been monitoring if he's getting cut, getting waived on practice squads. So they're pretty excited to get a look at him. Haven't got an opportunity to do a full dive on him, but I did do a little mini dive. He's a guy that can play safety, and that's probably what he's going to do for the Detroit Lions in the short term. But he's also a guy that has some nickel potential as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he is, man. I did see that he'll bring the pads. I did see that. Florida State. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Florida State kid, man, getting an opportunity. I'll be keeping a watchful eye.
I can't say that I've done a dive into him. I might have dipped my big toe into a small pond of water. I'll say just a quick little recap of who we're getting, a little highlight film. Tackler. The dude's going to come up and tackle. He's not afraid to come in and hit. Coverage. Listen, he's not Sauce Gardner. He's not Charles Woodson. He's not one of those premier guys. I think he might get some reps, Will, only because that injury bug's just hanging around our secondary room like a plague right now. Something could happen. He's probably the next man in line, special teamer for now. But if someone gets a little boo-boo, I think that's probably a name you can watch for. Again, listen, we're not signing Hall of Famers here. All right, we're not trading for Hall of Famers. Depth piece, someone to come in, put a Band-Aid on a bullet hole, and hope for the best to get through a couple weeks if need be, especially after the bye. Just get us through the bye week. Let's get healthy. November's looking like a time frame where we're getting a lot of dudes back to 100%. Can't wait. We just gotta hold our own until then.
Yeah. Well.
What else?
Kind of. Not really surprising news, but Lorenz Strickland is they're playing the game. They're dancing the game. Hey, I move guy. I cut one guy. I move one guy back. Maybe I see you again. He decided to come back, get on the practice squad. Lorenz Strickland, a guy that had a good camp. We've already talked about him, so I won't beat it up too much. But a guy that we absolutely loved, and we were looking at potentially making a 53-man roster, and Keith Cooper getting cut. A few people have been in a little bit of a tizzy about it, and I've been saying like, hey, no big deal. He'll probably be back on the roster. Like, you know how this thing works. They're doing the juggle game, getting extra secondary people, getting an evaluation of Robinson and stuff like that. While BB's down right now, you got to play some games. So the roster game is in full tilt, and I think Keith Cooper is just part of it. Now we just got to hope somebody doesn't hurry up and try to grab him. But my expectation is Keith Cooper will be a Lion again. What do you think?
I hope so. We were pretty much giving him like a second string position coming out of training camp. He played some good football in training camp, good preseason games, put out a lot of good film. I think he was one of the bubble guys where we had him just barely by a hair on your nose, not making this team. Making it to the practice squad though, getting released and then he brought back. Playing the game, the shuffle game. But Lauren Strickland, am I crazy for thinking Lauren Strickland is maybe more capable than Harper? I think I might want to switch those two around and give Lauren Strickland a little bit more reps as the starting safety, especially this week. But and Dan we trust, and Brad we trust, and Coach Shep we trust. But that was kind of the name I was looking for when Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph were starting to go down. Like, hey, is this going to be Lauren Strickland time? Because talk about a guy bringing the pads. Well, he made some plays in preseason games where he was knocking some people around. So I'm a little surprised that it wasn't him getting bumped into that position, but back on the team, maybe we'll see him down the road as well. Special teamer. We'll see what happens with this injury stuff, and someone else to keep your eyes on in the secondary.
I haven't seen a whole lot of Harper, but I will say he made a phenomenal play during the Chiefs game in his short little bit of opportunity he got there. So I don't know, man. He must be doing something at practice that has caught the eye of Coach Shep, and he won that opportunity because they say it. Listen, the opportunity is going to go to whoever the best player is, unless your name is Amik, and then you don't get to play outside corner. But I digress.
Isn't he playing outside this weekend?
He is now, but he should have been playing there all season. But
are you bitter about something? Well, it seems like there's a little bit of bitterness in your energy.
The best press man corner on our team was not playing press man corner on the outside. I am bitter about it because that is what we're supposed to be standing on. But it is a business. I do understand that, and the business is why he wasn't starting at press man corner. But it is what it is. This is not I don't want to turn this. We've done enough TA shows and all of this stuff where we don't not like TA here at Detroit in 313. We love him, think that he has tremendous amount of potential, and he'll be just fine. But right now, the best press man corner on our team is Amik Robertson, and I just don't think there's any debate.
Speaking of Terran Arnold, I don't think we hit on yesterday that Dan Campbell was kind of hinting that he should be back after the bye week as well. So this should be last week without Terran Arnold, going into the bye week, getting a little bit more help in that secondary that is much needed. And yeah, he's been beat up in the media. He's gotten, I feel like, firm but fair criticism here on this channel. Kind of as a rookie, I give you a pass. As a rookie, in my opinion, you get a pass for a lot of things. It's really just kind of getting your feet wet for me. Learning the game, learning the speed, learning the formations, the playbook, everything. There's 1,000 things to learn. So as a rookie, I don't even like to give out grades like at the end of the year of how they did. Year two is where I feel like we start to get a little bit more critical, like the expectations go a little bit higher. So I feel like we've been pretty fair with Terrion Arnold. Nothing that is disrespectful, but I feel like he needs to step his game up a tad bit. Maybe some injury stuff is bothering him. Taking a couple weeks off, maybe he comes back 100%. Maybe he turns the corner and he's that true number one corner that we see. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. So I know a lot of people are writing him off, but no, not here at all.
Yeah, definitely not here. I still think that he's going to be a good player, but I don't know how it happened, Steve. I'm going to keep mentioning it.
Real quick, well, I don't mean to blindside you, but we're talking about Terrion Arnold. He was saying some wild things to Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, on his podcast the other day. Listen, Terrion, you might want to pump the brakes just a bit, because you were saying some things about locking down Ocho Cinco. In his prime, top dog Ocho Cinco, not a chance. Absolutely not a chance. And we're Detroit Lions fans here, but we respect the great ones. Chad Johnson / Ocho Cinco is one of the greatest receivers of our generation, bar none. It's not even a debate. So I love the confidence, Will, but prime Ocho versus whatever prime Terrion, I don't know. I don't know that battle comes out won by our guy.
Steve, if you know, you know. I'm just going to say this. TA, and please clip this into a short. Please clip this into a short. TA, you would have been kissing a baby. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Yeah, you'd have been kissing a baby. It wouldn't have been good. All I've seen is the shorts from that podcast. I cannot wait to watch it. I'm probably going to watch it tonight, man. So I'm excited. Don't give me too much on it.
No, I pretty much just gave you everything you need to know. He was, Ocho was just talking to these two kids that are still in the league right now, just like, hey, back in the day, neither one of you guys would have guarded me. Like, let's just be real. Maybe I'm trying to think of a kid from Alabama that he does the podcast with, drawing a blank. Patrick Surtain. Yeah. Maybe slightly better odds, but yeah, TA, you might want to just sit on the sidelines for that one. I don't know.
Yeah, Surtain is going to compete.
Yeah, no pun intended. We'll sit on sidelines, but I don't know. Yeah, 10 routes, I might take Ocho in 9.8 of them.
That's being polite.
What else? What else are we talking?
Steve, we're going to get into a discussion here, and we haven't talked about it before we got on, so it's going to be raw and uncut. Coach Campbell at the podium today, he got asked a question about how does he feel about the run game so far this season, and getting deeper into it, he was asked about the split between David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs, and he did. He said he liked what he saw so far from the run game. Sometime the game plan forces the Detroit Lions, was what he mentioned, to get away from the football in general. But Steve, last game, Jameer Gibbs 17 carries, David Montgomery 4 carries. All right, it's just he doesn't start the football games. He's not guaranteed to finish the football games. But when I do a deeper dive into the stats, Steve, and I really start looking at, to me, the things that matter. And the first thing that I'm looking at is how many yards you getting you when you touch the football. What's happening there?
5.1.
5.1 to 4.5, right? David Montgomery's favor. But yet, Jameer Gibbs has 87 carries. David Montgomery has 65. And before people get on and talk about, hey, that's not as one-sided as you might think it would be, a lot of David Montgomery's carries are coming at the end of football games where he's just closing the game out.
The hammer.
He's better. Yeah, he's better than a closer to me. He's better than a guy that's just going to come in and close a football game out and pound the rock. He can catch the football out of the backfield. He can run in between the tackles and outside. Do I think that Jameer Gibbs is a more home run, potential home run type of player? I do, but I feel like they're both 3-down running backs, and I just don't like how David Montgomery has kind of been pretty much just put into a corner where he is just a closer at this point. So, Steve, how you feeling about it? Do you think that we need to take a look at the running back split? Is there anything that you would like to see changed, or are you good with it?
I'm not good with it. I'm not good with it at all. 5.1 yards per carry, 334 yards on the season, but he had 151 of those yards against the Baltimore Ravens. So half of his yards came in one game. That should tell you all you need to know. We got to find a way to get him to the ball more. It seems like to me, David Montgomery has come in kind of used as the gadget guy. I know we've seen that wildcat formation twice, the call in Kansas City, the pass to Jared Goff that wasn't a touchdown, allegedly. And then he did the same thing against the Cincinnati Bengals, wildcat jump pass to Brock Wright in the end zone. So it's like, are we setting something up for like later? Because we're talking like one formation. David Montgomery deserves – I don't see how you leave a game without David Montgomery touching the ball 10 times minimum. Like absolute minimum should be 10 carries. I'm not saying he needs to get 25, 30 carries. It's not prime Derrick Henry with the Tennessee Titans where we're just pounding the rock 30 times straight up the middle. But 4 carries per game, that's not enough. That's absolutely not enough. It's not even close to being enough. I need at least probably close to triple that. He's the hammer. I don't know. Are the Lions saving him for the fourth quarter when we're trying to really lean on teams? Because what if we don't have a lead in the fourth quarter? Then what are we doing? Like, and what I didn't like in Monday's broadcast is they kept talking about David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs and how they're essentially the same running back, but I don't think they are. I think they're both explosive. I think they're both very capable of going to another team and being the feature back. We just happen to have them both here, and that's a good problem. But I don't see David Montgomery having breakaway speed. You saw it firsthand in Baltimore. He got hawked down by Marlon Humphrey. Jameer Gibbs is, he's reeling him in. Absolutely. Caught a fish, a fish that wasn't moving as fast. But I've also seen David Montgomery take those runs and go a couple years ago, like he did against the Los Angeles Chargers. He broke a long one. But I know in those positions, Jameer Gibbs is looking up at the jumbo screen, and at about the 25-yard line, he's trying to figure out what his celebration is going to be, not is someone catching me from behind. So they're not the same. I hate when people keep saying they're the same running back. They're not, but it's not disrespect. David Montgomery's a bulldog. He's a bowling ball. He's a guy who, if you hit him at the line of scrimmage, he's going to find a way to fall ahead for 2-3 yards. All right. And I think Jameer Gibbs isn't doing that. He can hit those seams, though. and get to that second level and be gone. And you'll be seeing the dirt coming off of his cleats from how fast he's running. But they're not the same running back. We got to find a way to get David Montgomery more touches, more involved, and it doesn't involve trick plays.
Yeah, Steve, this for me it goes back to what I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, where I was wanting to see the formations that we got to see a little bit at the practice and that we heard about all off season and all training camp. These guys being on the field at the same time. If we don't want to take either one of them off of the field, hey, let's line up one deep. Let's put one in the slot at a wing. I mean, there's just abundance of things that you could do. And I think it's truly an opportunity for the Detroit Lions to do something that other teams aren't doing. Like the way that we have the skill set that we have in our backfield warrants those guys being out there a little bit more than they are. Again, it could be something that they're going to do moving forward when the time is right. They have it locked and loaded, and they're not going to unveil it until they feel like the time is right. But all of these football games for this next stretch, these are hard games to win. I don't know how in what world we feel like we're so good that we're going to be keeping bullets in our pocket just for a rainy day. All right, so if we don't see this stuff moving forward, I am going to start getting a little bit more antsy about it because I don't know. The physicality of David Montgomery, Steve, I told you before, I wish that he started football games like he used to. Just starting off, just being a little bit more physical. And it's not because Jahmyr Gibbs can't run between the tackles. He can, but he's not as physical as David Montgomery. David Montgomery is trying to punish linebackers when he squares them up. Jahmyr Gibbs is running hard, and he's giving you just a little bit enough of a move to kind of evade you, but then still maybe run physical with you or whatever. David Montgomery will just run through your face, as Marshawn Lynch says. Like, I'm gonna run through your face. So I don't know. For those reasons, I like to see David Montgomery as the first back out there, and then maybe go to Jahmyr Gibbs after that. But even a situation where we're going drive for drive, and then if there's a situation where we're behind or something, maybe you go a little bit more with Gibbs, but it's just not enough for me. But I would like to see how people are feeling, because I feel like people had a strong stance a few weeks ago where they were like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm cool with things are how things are. But as this thing is, developing, and because it seems like it's getting worse. 4 carries. I don't care what the game plan was. 4 carries is crazy for David Montgomery. So,
Wild.
yeah, something that we might want to just continue to take a look at. And I'm interested to hear how people feel about it.
Let me run another scenario by you. This is something else I've been noticing. I don't know if it's because of injuries. I don't know if it's because of new offensive coordinator, but we haven't been going swing tackle, jumbo, extra lineman, maybe a couple times this year, if that. It seems like that was kind of a staple of the Lions offense, was to bring in Dan Skipper as that extra offensive lineman, tight end, really, for an extra blocker. And it feels like we were dominating in the run game. Like everyone know, hey, you bring in an extra tackle, they're going to run the ball. You still couldn't stop it. Is that something maybe we need to go back to, or is that just a Ben Johnson thing? Is that something John Morton's not interested in? Because I feel like this run game, like, yeah, we're squeaking by, we're getting about 100 yards a game, but sometimes I look at those box scores and I'm like, dang, like I'm kind of surprised we got to 100. It didn't feel like it. I feel like last year our run plays were more explosive, and I know John Morton's all about airing it out, and haven't really seen too much of that either, if I'm being honest. So maybe we just go back a little bit, a little step back offensively, and just say, hey, let's focus on the run game first. Let's focus on that, because again, I know we're getting about 100 yards per game. But I watched that Cleveland Browns game, and there was a lot of talk that whole week about their D-line, our offensive line, how good our run game is, how good their run defense is. And I was pretty impressed with how we got to 100, but I was shocked at the end of that game when I saw we had like 119 total rushing yards. It just felt ugly, like an ugly game. Like we weren't breaking anything open, and that's kind of like the vibe I've gotten from the length of the season. Is like there's been one or two explosive runs, but I feel like we're leaving a lot of meat on the bone in the run game. Is that something you think we should look into?
I would love to see us do a little bit of swing tackle. And Steve, I mean, you know me well. I love the physical nature of football. So if you're telling me that we're going to go ahead and bring in a swing tackle, let you know what's going on, but we're just going to out physical you, I would definitely love it. But I think part of that might have to do with losing a guy like Frank Ragnow, having some young guys up there,
Taylor
not
Decker.
having Yeah, not having Taylor Decker and Skip started this thing on the practice squad. So um, maybe those are some things too that we'll see moving forward. You know, when everybody's healthy and we're full complement and this offensive line is really clicking and understanding. But right now, I think it's pretty much, hey, we're trying to get the playbook down from the offensive line standpoint and all the calls and the checks and everything that we need to do with those two young guards. And then Graham Glasgow bumping over and having to do all the things, which is something that he didn't have to do for the Detroit Lions in the past. So I don't know, Steve. I would love to see it, but I don't know honestly if it's something that we will see for those reasons.
Yeah, and Taylor Decker's coming back maybe this week. I saw he practiced today. So it could be a Taylor Decker situation where we don't have that extra tackle to put in there. We're barely getting by as we speak. Like we saw Gio Manu start a game against the Bengals a couple weeks. So maybe it's a personnel that we just don't have everyone healthy. Maybe it's a John Morton thing. Maybe that was a Ben Johnson thing and not a thing that Dan really wants to keep doing with the swing tackle. But I felt like it worked a lot last season. Yeah. And our run game to me just hasn't been as explosive as it was. Like there were some times where this season, Ja touches the ball and it's like one guy. Like Dan Campbell kept talking about it on Sunday night. We were just a couple plays away. There was one or two plays I remember where Gibbs got the ball and it was like a shoestring tackle to get him, or he was breaking it off for about 70. So maybe it's there, maybe it's coming, maybe it's just that one extra little sudden step of needing to beat a defender that we're just not getting right now. But the swing tackle thing is just something I happen to notice. We're not doing that very often anymore.
Steve, last question for me, man. And you led me right into it talking about Taylor Decker. So Taylor Decker, man, Coach Campbell went to the podium today and he talked about how he didn't think that Taylor Decker was going to practice. He ends up practicing. He mentioned him feeling better. Do you think that we should utilize Taylor Decker in this game with the bye week coming up, or should we allow him to get healthy? Because to me, if he's practicing, he might be looking to try to play in this football game. And I don't know if I'm in the minority. I'll shoot first. I don't think he should be out there because he's dealing with the shoulder injury that's kind of been week to week. He's been fighting to get it manageable enough to be able to go out here and play in football games. To me, why wouldn't you want to take just 2 weeks to get even healthier if it's a thing, if it's possible, or is it just at the best spot that it could be at? So, do you want to see Taylor Decker this week, or are you hoping that he takes a week off and essentially gets 2 weeks to heal up?
Why not use Taylor Decker as the swing tackle this week? Just a handful of reps, not even a handful, maybe 2 or 3 reps where we just bring him in for some jumbo stuff. But if not, I thought Skipper played good enough last week. Maybe Gio Manu was just that bad the week before that it was a massive upgrade, but I didn't think Skip did anything. And someone said, "Oh, he gave up a sack." Kansas City's D line, got to give him a little credit. They got Chris Jones and George Karlaftis. Like those are two absolute dogs. So if he gave up a sack, okay, not the end of the world. It sucks. I mean, it's not ideal, but I mean, who was it? The kid from LSU said, if a defensive lineman gets one sack a game, that's 12 sacks a year. He's a first rounder. If I'm an offensive lineman, I give up one sack a game. I'm working at Walmart. So you got to give and take a little bit there. I thought Skip played good. I wouldn't say he was elite. I would say he was a serviceable left tackle for a game. That's all we really want him to be, right? Can we ask that for him one more game? I think so. Give Decker another 2 weeks essentially to rest up. I would be okay with no Decker. But if he's 100%, play him.
Steve,
I'm not nuts.
Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? Listen, Dan Skipper played phenomenal. Played okay. Played serviceable. He played out of his mind. He played like a dog. I thought that he played great football. He did.
I would have gave him a game ball if we won.
Yeah, he played his ass off, man. Like I thought that he played well. Now get me Taylor Decker back as soon as possible, like after this bye week. But there's a difference there. You're right. But for Skip and what my expectations were, I'll be honest, Steve, I was a little bit confused of why we went to Gio before we went with Skip after I watched Skip play.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean? So yeah, Skip. We tip our hat to you here, man. You played a great football game. I don't know why Steve was just saying that you're serviceable. So if you see Steve, just take that 6'7" beast of a fist and just hit him on top of his head, man. You played your mind. You played out
Did
of your
you
mind.
did you plant that 6-7 in there for those kids that are doing that 6-7 thing?
6'7".
I don't even know what that means, if I'm being honest. I know it's a thing, but I don't know exactly what it means. So I don't know. I think you planted that one in there. But I'm telling you, I would have gave Skip a game ball if we would have ended up winning that game. I thought he played really, really good. Not elite, more than serviceable. Maybe a poor choice of words on my part, but I'm good with him for starting another game. I don't know what more you want out of me. You want me to give him the starting job
Now we're
permanently?
talking.
I don't understand.
No, that's all.
Next
Just put a
12
little
games,
respect on his name, you know. Just put a little
next 10
respect on his
games,
name.
Dan Skipper starting left tackle. I don't know if I can go that far.
Not that far. Not that far.
Anything else for tonight?
Nah, that's all I got, man.
Guys, members giveaway. We're going to double up. We got to hit those numbers. It's easy to join. It's not required. It's appreciated. There's a little button down there right next to the episode that says join. Brings you to all 3 tiers. Will has a jersey. He has, I won't say what it is, but it's a autographed item that we were supposed to show tonight, but not prepared. We have gift cards. And if we hit a certain number, I'm going to go get a jersey. I'm going to go get a Brian Branch jersey Monday night. If they have them in the team shop, I'll get one. If not, I'll go to Rally House. They'll hook us up, and we'll get this going. But got to hit those numbers. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.